was an orphan living on the Kent marshes with his abusive sister and her husband, Joe Gargery, the village blacksmith. While exploring in the churchyard near the tombstones of his parents, Pip was threatened by an escaped convict. The convict scared Pip into stealing food for him, returning it the next day. Shortly afterward, the convict was recaptured. Pip was arranged to go to the house of a wealthy, isolated woman, Miss Havisham, to play with her adopted daughter, Estella. The house was a strange nightmare world. Miss Havisham's fiancé left her on her wedding day. The house had been left as it was on her wedding day. Estella was beautiful but arrogant. Pip was immediately attracted to Estella, in spite of how she and Miss Havisham treated him. Although the visits are emotionally painful, Pip continued to go there for several months to play with Estella and to wheel Miss Havisham around. Pip did earn a kiss from Estella when he beats one of the relatives, the pale young gentleman, in a fist fight. Pip tried to better himself to win Estella's admiration by working harder with his friend, Biddy, who took care of Pip's sister after she was attacked. After a number of months, Miss Havisham pays for Pip's apprenticeship with Joe to become a blacksmith. Pip had looked forward to that for years. However, he hid his feelings from Joe and performs his duty. One evening, a powerful London lawyer, Mr. Jaggers, visited Pip and Joe and informed them that Pip had great expectations. Pip was really delighted and assumed the unbelievable windfall of luck was from Miss Havisham, who wanted to prepare him for Estella. He got a new suit of clothes and felt amazed at how differently he was treated. Pip was treated with respect. He realized how money changes things. By the end of the week, Pip was on his way to London to become a gentleman.
I am Jagger.
Who are you?
Okay, I am a lawyer from London. Now listen, what I have to say and remember. I only an agent. I don't speak for myself. Is this a young man of a great expectation?
So, can you tell me what's your name? My name is Joe. This is Pip.
Okay. I have been told to say that he will be very rich when he is older. The person who sent me want this young man to be removed from this house and educated as a gentleman who expect to inherit a fortune.
Okay, now, Mr. Pip, there are two conditions for you. The first one is that you always have to use the name of Pips. The second one is that the name of the person who is sponsoring to you must remain a secret, so that until that person chooses to tell you, you are forbidden to ask any question or try to discover who the person is. So, do you accept these two conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, now listen for more detail. I have been given enough money for you to live the life of a gentleman in London while you are studying. You will come to me to ask for whatever you need. And I suggest Mr. Matthew Parkett as a teacher. You must buy some new clothes, right? Okay. Shall I leave you 20 pounds? Take this.
Thank you.
Is that enough for you?
It's more than enough.
So when will you come to London? Next Saturday? Perhaps. I only say perhaps. Perhaps I have been told to give you a present when you lost your apprentice.
Pip can go freely to fortune and happiness. You know that. But if you think money can pay me back for losing this little child who came to the fort and always the best friend of mine,
Mr. Pip. I'm sorry I'm late. How long have you been waiting for me?
Just a moment ago.
Oh, you are at Miss Havisham?
And you are the pale young gentleman.
I'm sorry for having knocked you down that day. Hope you forgive me.
Okay.
Do you know why I was there? I had been invited by Miss Havisham. Asked whether Estella liked me or not. If she had liked me, I would be a rich man and engaged to her right now.
So, were you disappointed then?
No, not at all. I won't love Estella because she's a hard and proud girl. And Miss Havisham brought her up just to break my heart as a revenge on all men.
Is she a relation of Miss Harrison?
No, just adopted. But why you were at Miss Havisham then?
Well, to make my fortune, the same as you. And I was lucky.
Oh wait, let me serve you something.
Oh, thank you.
Here's your tea.
Oh, what do you do for a living, Herbert?
I'm working in the city, insuring the sick. There's a lot of money. There's a big profit.
And where are your shifts at the moment?
I haven't started yet. I'm working in the counting house, but they didn't pay me much, so I'm looking for another opportunity. And then I'll make my profit and fortune.
Few months later, Pip's sister was attacked and was not able to get out of bed, so BD took care of her. Unfortunately, Pip's sister's illness could not be recovered and she was getting worse than before until she died. After the funeral, there was no news of Pip from London, so one day Joe decided to ask BD to write a letter to Pip that he was going to visit Pip in London. One day, Miss Havisham summoned Pip to meet the beautiful Estella and ordered them to spend some time together. One day, Herbert was abroad on business, and Pip was alone at home, reading in a garden. Suddenly, there was a man who had been an escaped convict, Mr. Magritte, came into Pip and asked Pip for a shelter.
I remember now. But if you are grateful for what I did in my childhood, I hope that you have improved your way of life. And though it is unnecessary for you to come and thank me, but you must understand.
What might I understand?
That I do not want to be your friends. We have lived our lives separately since we met on that farm. I was chosen to inherit a fortune.
Whatever can guess how much? £500 a year, right?
How would you know?
Yeah. Actually, all the money that I saved from Australia, I sent to you. And Mr. Jacob was the agent that I ran for you. And I made a gentleman of you, even though I can't make myself a gentleman.
Never. Wasn't anyone else involved at all?
Don't worry, only me and Mr. Jacob. I promise myself that one day I will come to England and see my gentleman and make you a gentleman. Now you must find me a shelter, because if they discount me, come back to England, they will hang me.
In order to avoid Magritte, the escaped convict, from getting hanged, Herbert and Pip decided to get Magritte out of England. One day, Pip was allowed to see Miss Havisham again, but this time without Estella. Pip could see that Miss Havisham was sad that Estella was not around. That was the last time Pip had seen Miss Havisham before she died of her wounded, and also the last time Pip got supported by Miss Havisham. All things had happened absolutely made Pip so upset and sick for several weeks. At that time, Joe came and nursed him, and told him some news about Miss Havisham was dead and left fortune to Estella. So, Pip left the fork and started a new life as a clerk in Herbert's company. As years went by, Pip came back to visit his old home and saw Joe's family having a good time.
Estella.
Oh my god, Pep, you still remember me?
Of course I do.
Hi, how have you
Oh.
been? It's been years. You should have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
You still live abroad, don't you?
Oh, yes, I do. I live in India right now.
Wow, that's nice. How are you doing there?
I'm doing great. I'm working with Herbert and his wife.
Wow, it seems so special that we meet here after all these years. Even this land is my home. I still haven't been here for years. It's surprising to meet you.
Surprise or what?
You know, I've given you a special place in my heart since my husband died recently. I've suffered from being heart, and I think I've become a better person.
Estella, you always held your place in my heart.
Thank you, that's so sweet. And I think it's time to say goodbye here. I don't want to say goodbye.
It's painful saying goodbyes.
Yeah. Oh, do you remember the last time you said God forgive you, God bless you? I think you should say that to me. You know, I think we should still remain friends even wherever we are.
We are friends.
You promise?
Promise.
Oh.